Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here bringing you another EX Plus analysis video. Before we begin, I want to announce that I have a running Discord server that keeps growing, which I was able to finish with the help of a couple of friends. I'll have the link pinned in the comment section below so you can join us if you want to talk about the game or anything else. In the video's description you can also find a playlist of my previous EX Plus analysis videos and a playlist of my tier list videos started from January 2020. For this video, I'll talk about Prishe and Arciela. At the end of the analysis, there's going to be a should you pull section giving you my recommendation on pulling or not. I'm going to go over their strengths and weaknesses as well as which artifacts you should be aiming for. Finally, we'll see together if they are worth investing and how much you should invest in them. Before we begin, I want to remind you that these are just my opinions. You should always do some research on your own before deciding on things, and hopefully this video will help you on that. So let's begin. Starting off this video with Prishe, because she's one of the first event release characters with a 35 CP for the game over 2 years ago. Unfortunately, that was the highlight of her career in the game because she was really strong at her release. Through the course of these 2 years, Prishe tried coming back in the meta with a rework, an EX weapon, and even her level 70 awakening, but she was not met with any success. She returns once again with her EX Plus, and even though that does improve her a lot, some of her problems are still there. First of all, Prishe is now able to imperil all of her elements with a frame debuff and get a free skill after every EX cast. Her EX is guaranteed to hit for a lot of damage because it ignores defenses, but unfortunately it's slightly slow, while Prishe is a really fast unit with high turn rate skills. That works against her because it makes her EX feel even slower, and as you may have noticed, most of her good points are originating from her EX. Her one ill punch, which transforms from her first skill, will always have an instant turn rate, even though websites like Dissidia DB state that it's only high turn rate. You should avoid using this skill as much as possible since Prishe is already fast as it is. Ideal use for this skill would be if you are desperate to shave a boss with huge amounts of brave so Prishe can act twice. One unique thing that Prishe has is that she is able to extend all buffs on herself by 5 turns whenever she casts her EX. That makes her able to have 100% uptime on really powerful buffs like Selfie's Aura as a very good example. Her HP Plus feels very outdated for the timing of her EX Plus, and even though she can imperil her elements, she still gets crippled if either of them is absorbed by the boss, something that is becoming more and more common in Chaos. Recommended artifacts for Prishe are 108 Attack and 330 Max Brave. Now let's see if she's worth investing in or not. If Prishe is one of your favorite units or you are a fan of Final Fantasy XI, then I'm sure you've already decided to max her out. Otherwise, I would strongly advise against that. Prishe is a mixed attacker that does both melee and magic damage, meaning she's reliant on her imperils in order to bypass resistances. Sometimes that can be hard due to her slow EX, and if you spam her skills, she will burn out too fast. Right now we have a lot more powerful DPS units that offer way too much more than Prishe. On your screen from now on you will see the total amount of bonuses each character can get from their boards, because I think that's important. That's something you should always consider before investing in a unit. Now let's see how much you should invest in Prishe if you decide to do so. Prishe EX Plus upgrades are very simple compared to others, but in my opinion effective. A book will increase the brave hit on her EX from 4 to 6, its potency will get a moderate boost, and all enemies will receive a frame triple imperil debuff for 4 turns. Prishe will also extend the duration of all debuffs on her by 5 turns, something we mentioned earlier. Investing 1 ingot in Prishe will moderately increase her attack and max brave. I am sorry I couldn't find the correct numbers, but the moderate increase is between 40 to 60%. 2 ingots allows Prishe to begin the stage with her max brave and physical attack buff and her brave and HP plus attacks. Normally you would need to use her spinning attack to gain access to her HP plus. Finally, her EX is ready to be cast immediately, which helps her bypass the initial wait for it. Last but not least, with 3 ingots, her EX will be executed twice and will ignore defense. Its potency will be increased tremendously and you get a free skill on your next turn. In conclusion, Prishe is an okay unit to use on a lower stage in Dimensions End with just her book upgrade, but if you want to actually spend resources on her, you will need to use 3 ingots because Prishe is clearly a DPS unit and her 3 out of 3 is a great upgrade to miss out on. Finally, we can move on to arguably the most exciting and hyped character we've had for a while. Arciela is probably the best representation of how a good jack of all trades support should be. She does so many things and she's good at them. In the video's description you will find a good enough summary of Arciela's kit so you can pause the video in order to get more familiar with her abilities. First, I want to mention some of Arciela's weak points, even though one of them is not. Her total aura values are a bit average compared to other supports we have right now, and her total skill count is low, but that is not a problem at all. You will be using her amazing HP plus a lot and her EX is fast. I just feel obligated to warn newer players that they may use Arciela to not spam her skills, because you don't have to. Move on to her strengths. She's an amazing shaver for a support because all of her skills are doing multiple AoE brave hits. She has a versatile gameplay as a stance character like Ignis and Penelo, where you can use her Ascension mode to be more support oriented or her Descension mode to be more aggressive with damage and debuffs. She has amazing party utility through her auras, battering the party, healing, and all that while she is dealing really good damage. Her different HP plus variants in both modes are top notch compared to other supports, and her utility extends further to the enemies by dispelling them or debuffing them. Her most notable debuff is HP Silence, something that was only possible by Kefka before. Recommended artifacts for Arciela are 108 Attack and then either 330 Max Brave if you want to be more offensive, or 170 Initial Brave if you want her to batter your team more, and her C50 passive if you want a more balanced approach. Now let's see if Arciela is worth investing in or not. If Arciela is one of your favorite characters, then go ahead and max her out, although you will probably either way because of how good she is. On your screen you will see a summary of how Arciela's boards affect her if you decide to spend points on her. If you manage to get your hands on her EX, then you should definitely invest in this OP support unit. She's good now and she'll still be good in the future. Supports are a special case in this game because you can never have too many due to dimensions and stages. Now let's see how much you should invest in her. Arciela's EX Plus upgrades are very simple and for a good reason. She doesn't need that big of a buff spike like most characters do. Investing a book in Arciela increases the EX potency by 80% and the max overflow by an additional 30%. 1 ingot increases Arciela's attack by 40% and her max brave by 30%. Investing 2 ingots in Arciela allows her to begin the stage with her EX buff, and she also gets the Onion Knight treatment, meaning her first skill is free and her first turn is free with instant turn rate, which is something that we see more often now. Finally, if you invest 3 ingots in Arciela, her EX gets another 80% potency, 20% more overflow, and will now also batter the party based on 20% of the HP damage you did with it. So what do I think the optimal investment for Arciela is? 3 out of 3 of course, and there's a simple reason for that. Her EX is fast and will be up most of the time, so you want to capitalize on that by giving her more damage. Arciela is not a support with free turns, but everything she does will do damage along with the other side effects, and that is her strength, the ability to do many things while also dealing a lot of damage. What is your opinion on this banner? Is it worth pulling or is it an easy skip for you? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, Prishe won't get treated well by the developers once again. I mean, she's not awful, but she's a few months late for what her power is right now. She lowers the value of this banner significantly, to be honest. Would I tell anyone to try and PD Arciela on this banner? No, I wouldn't, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to get her gear, and that means tickets, which is what I will be doing as well. Of course, if you also like Prishe, then you should definitely use gems on this banner. And that was it. I hope you stuck with me until the end and that you enjoyed watching or listening to this video. Don't forget to drop a like and also consider subscribing if you like my content. If you have any suggestions of things you want me to cover, I would very much like to hear about them. Also, if you think I forgot to mention anything, let me know about that as well. Take care guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.